Oh, sure.
All the way. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't eat nothing. Now I'm hungry. I got an appetite. So I'm trying not to stay. Trying to stay away from anything with heartburn. Yeah, welcome to anything in the house I want.
All right, bro.
First, we in the thing.
All right.
We in there like swimwear.
First,
Live.
yes, sir.
So, got two current events for y'all today. Was with the two recent most popular events or whatnot. It's going down. One's getting more popularity than the other. But this is a school shooting that happened, I think, on September 10th. We're going to play that first. And then we're going to go to the second one, which is Charlie Kirk. And we're going to get it in from there.
Just in with new details on the school shooting outside of Denver yesterday. CNN's Whitney Wild joins us with the latest. Whitney, what are you learning?
Well, there's some top headlines here, but just to get our viewers up to speed, this shooting happened yesterday afternoon around 2:24 p.m. That was in Mountain Time. This is a large high school. This is 900 kids. There was a student who got onto campus, according to law enforcement, took the bus to school and began shooting at fellow students. Two classmates are still in critical condition at the hospital. The shooter died of self-inflicted gunshot wound yesterday. Here are the latest updates, Boris. They have now identified that shooter as 16-year-old Desmond Holly. Again, they say he was a student at Evergreen High School. This is about 45 minutes west of Denver. The spokeswoman for this area, this is the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, spokeswoman Jackie Kelly, made the point that this shooter appears to have been a blend of a targeted but somewhat random shooting. And she said that because what they understand about how this happened was the shooter went into the school and began shooting many times. I mean, she could not even give a definitive number of how many times the shooter shot, saying only that the shooter was using a single revolver handgun and reloaded multiple times. And when asked how many times the shooter shot, she simply said, a lot. Right now, law enforcement is commending the actions of both the students and teachers who sadly know this routine very well. They had practiced it. They say that is the reason that so many lives were saved. Here's more from spokeswoman Jackie Kelly.
The students and the staff at the school were amazing. They did their job. They did it well. And lives were saved yesterday because of the actions they took during their lockdown drill. We know that the suspect had a handgun. He had to keep reloading. He would fire and reload, fire and reload, fire and reload. This went on and on. And as he did that, he tried to find new targets. And he came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
Boris, what Kelly also said is that the school normally does have a school resource officer. They used to have a full-time resource officer, but now they are working on a blend because that school resource officer, who's normally full-time, was on medical leave. And at the time, a school resource officer was on campus until 10:30, 2 hours before the shooting, but had been dispatched to a traffic accident. So at the very moment of that shooting, there was no school resource officer on campus, Boris.
Whitney Wild, thank you so much for the update.
All right, stop it right there.
All right.
So what y'all got on that?
Well, that's my first time hearing the details on it, but
This is my first time listening to it too.
okay, I heard about it, but that was my first time hearing the details. But like he picked up single loaded handgun, so it sounded like he had to reload every time.
Boy, ancient pistol.
Yeah, it was like a musket.
Yeah. So they said a lot of people were shot at this high school. 2 of them critical. I haven't heard anything else or seen anything else about what went down. I know they were saying that it seemed like it was a targeted thing, but then they said it don't seem like it was targeted.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know too much about it. But and then now you see that they had a part-time police officer there, but the main guy was on medical leave, and then the one that was there was only there till 10. Then he got sent somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know that that's gonna change. There's gonna be somebody there all day, maybe a couple. That's 900 students, black kids for high school, especially for whatever town it was in Colorado. All right, so the next one we got this Charlie Kirk cat. The that they saying was they're making this be an assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I heard that they said it was a professional hit.
yeah, they say it was a professional hit, but then you got videos say otherwise or whatnot. But we'll get into that part. There's some videos you'll see that people were saying that he was supposed to be the next president. But I never heard about this dude until the 10th. So we'll play this real quick.
The face of MAGA, an important ally of Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on September 10, 2025, at Utah Valley University from a rooftop over 100 yards away. What is this sudden tragedy about? What was being planted in Utah? Who is behind the assassination? People around the world are speculating with various theories as new footage surfaced. Some unusual movement was seen around the campus as some of the visitors in the event saw a man at a suspicious spot on the rooftop of a building. Later, after the assassination, in a stampede situation, a video surfaced where a person can be seen running along the rooftop. In the video, it can be seen that a person is adjusting his cap, which people on the internet have interpreted as a signal to give a go-ahead to the assassin, as it happened just a few seconds before Charlie Kirk was shot.
Now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting.
Later, after the assassination, in a stampede situation, a video surfaced where a person can be seen running along the rooftop, indicating the links to the same person caught on the spot earlier. On the internet, a newly discovered crowd video of a man celebrating immediately after Charlie Kirk was shot down surfaced. The person has been identified as Matt Tabor, who appears to be a strong critic of Charlie as of now. Charlie Kirk's assassination has raised a lot of suspicion alongside fear among the American population. This tragic event is raising a lot of questions about the security arrangements during the event and the people behind benefiting from this.
It's a lot, ain't it?
It's a lot to take in, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Why, we want to call this an assassination just because, he got a little bit of popularity or whatnot. But that's not my decision. But murder, no matter how you try to twist it or whatever the narrative is. So, them are the two current events that we have for y'all today.
Yeah, with that one, I never heard about Charlie Kirk before, but I seen a South Park episode, right? And they was making fun of him, and I didn't know who they was making fun of. They always talking about somebody on South Park.
Recently?
So it was probably like a month ago or something like that. 'Cause I don't even watch South Park, but for some reason I watched that episode, and the whole episode was like, little fat dude Cartman, he was he became a master debater, is what they was calling him. They be trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But he became a debater, and he was like having them type of big debates like how the Kirk dude was. So I'm like, I know they talking about somebody, but then he started having real strong Christian views, and that was the episode. So when I seen the shooting, I'm like, this is like that South Park episode. And then they just popped your boy.
Mm-hmm. What you got, little thing?
Man, I've been watching a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different things that
Yeah.
I always pay attention to the stuff behind the scenes. Like he just did an interview about 2-3 weeks ago. How the Jewish people was coming down on him.
Yeah, I seen that too. He what's they president over there?
Netanyahu.
Yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Get it.
Sent him a message, said, "Come on back to Israel."
Yeah.
And he bashed him, said, "Nah, I ain't coming back."
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess
you get to playing with the little hats.
Yeah.
But they've been funding Charlie. You feel me? But Charlie was speaking highly of him all through his career, his podcast. But recently, he just started speaking out against it. And they had a problem with
it. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Possibility. It's a possibility. It's a possibility the Republicans got him up out of there just to incite
civil war. There's a possibility that all of them was working together. And he just the scapegoat.
Yeah. Y'all see that's what it was, because after this shooting happened, I think 4 or 5 HBCUs had a threat against their school.
It was 9 of them all.
It was 9? Yeah. I seen 5. Okay, so 4 more.
They shut 9 HBCUs on lockdown.
And it's like, man, wasn't even no black people there. But I seen one.
But that's the common thing. If you trying to incite civil war, it ain't nothing for your own party to take out one of their own, and the common people gonna blame because they attaching everybody. Like everybody black ain't Democrat, but the common people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They just think all black people is Democrats. Mm-hmm. And some of us ain't affiliated with Democrat or Republican.
Absolutely. Yeah, straight up.
You see what I'm saying?
When we got free from slavery, most black folks, we was really Republican. Because we had to do for self.
But we got that stigma. So it's just like, oh, the left did this. What do the left look like? That's the dangerous part. What do a Democrat, the left, look like? You see what I'm saying? What do that look like? So if I go out here right now and I go to a small white town, they're going to associate me with the left?
Straight up.
What do that look like? You can't identify that. That's why it's dangerous. And then before y'all even have a identity on the shooter, how's y'all already blaming somebody? Mm-hmm. Y'all don't even know who the shooter is, if it's a male, female, what nationality they is. Y'all automatically just blaming a particular group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And what do that particular group of people look like? That's dangerous. Then you see the little deal his wife did. What she talking about? She made a little speech talking about, if y'all think that this is the end, I'm finna stand in his place. This finna become more powerful I'm finna give out a battle cry against who? And they already got the shooting.
Right.
So like, who is you addressing this
So
to?
she's adding fewer to the fire.
Like, so you can see that it's an ideology. It's more than just a person that been murdered.
Yeah.
They trying to push an agenda behind the ideology. And I'm trying to figure out, like, are y'all afraid that white supremacy is dying? Do y'all not understand that white supremacy happened? If white supremacy died, that don't mean you're dying. It just means your power structure is leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what y'all afraid of?
And we see now what they doing now with they marches and down in the city.
Yeah.
It started with it in Ohio when they was outside the hood.
They have visuals right now talking about white male fight back. Who is attacking y'all?
But I don't understand, right? Nigga, you said all this about black people, but you get killed by a white man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't took shots at so many demographics that everybody's upset.
Yeah.
So the LBGT upset, black folks upset, the immigrants, basically anybody who's not a white American. Yeah.
That's the boy who shot him.
That's it, yeah.
That's who killed him.
The boy who shot him, it's the boy SAT scores through the roof.
And he raised in a conservative Christian white home. He was taught guns at an early age. You feel me? They're supposed to have these Christian values. But like I say, if you trying to start a civil war, it's common that you would take out one of your own. You would eat your own to create this demographic. You see what I'm saying? So, like, no matter which way you look at it, it's still, like I said, it's dangerous for us because anytime you could automatically group us with any people, and you can't identify what that people look like, like I could vice versa. What do a Republican look like? What do an independent look like? So how are we gonna say it's these people and attaching all these different people in? Like you got transgender connected with liberals and Democrats. What if the transgender is Republican? What do this look like?
That's a good question. Also, it's just show us even like what we stand on. You coming from a biblical perspective, from an Israelite perspective, what the purpose of them doing things like that, taking people out that got a powerful, void platform is to try to silence the voices. You know what I mean? And yeah, we might have a different message than Kirk, but we speak and we're in front of the mics, we up in front of the people, we in the community, really tangible to people. And then somebody could say, well, I don't know if I want to take on that position because I ain't trying to have my life in danger. I stand with y'all, but I ain't going to be out there with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I like what you're doing, but you got to do it alone because I ain't trying to lose my life behind it.
And you got to be careful. They taking snippets. They playing snippets of things and not the whole conversation. And a lot of things that the dude Charlie was saying is being taken out of context. You see what I'm saying? Because I just seen that pulling up to the house. They was talking about him saying like a lot of deaths from guns. You need a lot of deaths from guns to protect our other individual rights. Second Amendment, whatever it may be. But before he said that, he was talking about it's 50,000 people die from vehicles every year. But do they take cars off the street? No, they don't take cars off the streets. So he was making a comparison, but they're taking snippet and be like, oh, look what he said. He's speaking against this. So we gotta be careful, like the stuff we seeing on social media, them snippets. Be careful before you make any judgment. Just listen to the whole, try to find the whole video and listen to them in context. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of things they be saying they right about. He said black fathers need to be back at home with the family. That's true. You see what I'm saying? Our nucleus is destroyed. The Most High teach us that. We don't need Charlie to teach us that. You see what I'm saying? But they'll take things, they'll play a snippet, put that spin on it, take it out of context, and then be like, you see, he a racist. You see what he just said? He a racist. Like all of it. You see what I'm saying? Before we come, Most High teach us to know the whole matter. Don't take a snippet and make a judgment off of it. Know the whole matter. Just like we'll want them to know our whole matter. Don't call me no Democrat. Don't call me no Republican. Get to know me. Know the whole matter. But they playing, it's fire out here now.
What was the last question they was asking before he got shot? They was like, is that
Did he
including?
bring the gangs? Are y'all adding the gang violence into this?
And somebody, I was talking to somebody, they was kind of offended by that, but I'm like, you know, that's really, it was a good question, because if you look at the gang violence, it can equate to mass shootings. You see what I'm saying? Especially now, somebody could go in there and spray the whole set. Why ain't that considered a mass shooting when several people just got murdered?
Why are they considered terrorism? If somebody's scared for their children to go to school, you see what I'm saying? If somebody's scared for this, that's terrorism. You feel me? On whatever level we're gonna look at it on. You see what I'm saying? When you scared to go to the store, you scared to go to the gas station, that's terrorism. And the Most High said what? Our people. Y'all children gonna be y'all oppressors. So yeah, we're gonna hit a stigma black on black crime until we start doing better. But is it white on white crime? All the time. It's just not magnified, put on the news, and everything like our crime.
Glorify it like we do.
You see what I'm saying? We actually glorify this. We got music that glorify this. They ain't making music about I'm the best school shooter. We make music talking about our Swiss cheese, the whole block. We got to be accountable for our own madness.
Yeah, and that kind of go into what we're about to talk about, Aki, honestly. So if y'all ready, we could jump into it. All praise the Most High. So, you know, as y'all see the title, we're talking about when you vow a vow unto YaHuWaH. So, you know, the topic is about vowing a vow, right? We're gonna open up in Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 at verse, we're just running from the top, 1 through 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, 1 through 5. Khan, when you're there, or when you're ready. Ecclesiastes 5, 1 through 5. Y'all there? All right. And it reads, it says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. So one thing right there that we gotta look is that when you're in the house of the Most High, or in the, you know, assembly in the presence of the Quadashim, the so-called saints, it said you should be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. So the sacrifice of fools could be some nonsense, right? Like we know that back in the ancient times, it was actually given physical sacrifices, but also we can look at it as, what are you offering to, what are you contributing to the assembly? What are you contributing to the coming together, to the congregation, right? It says, for they consider not that they do evil. So if you're just involved in foolishness, if you're bringing foolishness to the table during a set apart time, that is evil. Verse 2, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. So he said, don't be quick to just say anything out of your mouth when it comes to concerning the things of the Most High. Think before you speak. It says, for Elohim is in Shamayim, and thou upon Arats, or the earth, therefore let thy words be few. You better off making concise speech, right? Making your speech concise, making your speech be very fewer words. It's a for a dream coming through the multitude of business. You had a long day, you watch something on TV, you was dealing with certain people, you go to sleep, you have a dream, it's concerning them matters, your brain is trying to sort that stuff out, right? And a fool's voice is known in the multitude of words. So everybody's speaking about set apart things. Everybody's speaking about a certain topic. We speaking about Charlie Kirk. You start talking about Kirk Franklin, you gonna be looking kind of foolish. We ain't talking about that Kirk. You see what I'm saying? So when you're involved in a certain direction, we want to keep things flowing in that direction, especially on things considering of the Most High. It's just a time now of elevation to be called to his Quadashim. As we just spoke about the current events, we see everything's going down in real time. Like when things is happening on that magnitude, on that level, it's time that we step up our game as well. At verse 4, it say, when thou vowest a vow unto Elohim, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. He don't have no pleasure in fools. He don't have no pleasure in you talking foolish things, speaking about Swiss cheese the block. He don't have no pleasure in none of them songs, none of that music, right? He don't have no pleasure in none of that. It says, when thou vowest a vow unto Elohim, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. You better pay up. So if you said you was gonna do it, said you was gonna give it unto YaHuWaH, give it unto YaHuWaH. Verse 5, it say, better is it that thou shouldest not vow, and that thou shouldest vow. It says, then that thou shouldest vow and not pay. So it's better that you just didn't even speak it, rather than speak it and then don't do it. You better off just not saying it.
And you know we notorious for that. Like we go to jail, and the first thing we do is make those vows. Like, Lord, if you get me out of this, I promise I'll never do this again. You feel me? I'm through with that life. You see what I'm saying? As soon as we get out, we get to talking that I'm smart and I'm wise. I'm gonna move. I got locked up because of this. We done forgot all about that vow we just made.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Until we either get killed or go back to jail.
Correct. And you know, that's a good example. And we just do it a lot, you know, but we're so far from our culture that we don't really realize the severity of what we even got into. You know what I'm saying? We done partook in the Passover, we done partook in immersions, we done partook in Yom Kippurim, and you know, even those professing to be Christians, they're taking on a form and a likeness, you know, even with their baptism and their communion, they're taking on a form and a likeness. So they're professing that they're following the Most High living Elohim, the Most High God, as they call him. But we don't even realize how far removed we are from the not just the culture, but the truth. You know, the truth of the matter is power in your words, and it's a law behind your words.
I was talking, my sister was just saying that like we was listening to some of the stuff that the man was saying, and she was like, dang, it seems like he just spoke his own eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
He
Like,
said we need more deaths
like
by guns.
yeah, so we could preserve our rights.
Yeah.
Like you speaking your own eulogy, like
Yeah, absolutely.
the word, the tongue, have power over life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Never thinking it was gonna be you.
That it was gonna be you.
Yep. They say when you dig one grave, dig two.
Don't even dig the one because you say you're gonna fall into that pit.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump over here into book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 27. Start at probably right here about verse 30. right here about verse 30.
27 and 30.
Yeah. Genesis chapter 27, verse 30. Khan, when you're ready. All praises. Book of Bereshit, chapter 27 and verse 30, and it reads, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac, Yasakak, had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, and Esau or Asu his brother, his Ak, came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac, it says, and Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Asu. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have Barak him. Yea, and he shall be Barak. He said, man, I gave him a blessing. Oh, yeah, he's going to be blessed. Okay.
For sure.
Listen, it's going to happen. It says, and when Asu heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Barak me, even me also, oh my father, let me get some of that too. You got another one, right? It says, and he said, thy eye came with subtlety and hath taken away thy blessing. So, man, that right there, that concept right there show you that, man, you could get your blessing took away. You could miss it. It could have been for you, and somehow, you know, there's a lot of possibilities on how, but it's a possibility it could get away from you. It says, and what was meant for you could go to somebody else. That's crazy. But see, then you know, but like in this modern day world, it's like the concepts of the Bible are just looked over like, man, whatever. That could have been your rib. That could have been your man or your husband that got away from you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. There come a dime a dozen. Like maybe not. Maybe that was yours. That could have been your position in the CEO of that company. Got away from you. What's meant to happen, meant to happen. I mean, that's one way to look up at it, but
we could rush things. We could die before our time.
You could die before your time.
Was it our time, or did we die
before your time?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what
like. But the concepts have been kind of trampled over in the modern day. It's kind of like it's like whatever.
So like it's like this when the Most High say, blessed is he who find a wife, for he found a good thing, and the days of his life shall be double. Yeah. What would I be doing if I was single? I'll be living the bachelor's life, making all different kind of choices that's going to affect my future. You see what I'm saying? I'm sat down and put up right now because I got my wife. If I didn't have her, I'm for sure going to be making some different decisions.
Absolutely.
I got to date different women. I might mess around, have sex with them. I might mess around, not use a rubber. Right. I might mess around and get a disease that I can't come back from. You don't know what'll happen. That's why I say safety is in your obedience. He's finna double my life. You see what I'm saying? When I was single, my homie could pull up on me and be like, hey, this nigga just did this. Get the guns, we ride. When you got a wife and children, you don't make them just quick rash decisions no more. Yeah. You feel me? Like, no, I can't sacrifice them for that. Right. You see, I get to live today. You see what I'm saying? So, like, we got to consider we can make decisions that'll snuff out our time. We can make decisions that'll take away our blessings. You see what I'm saying? I could have sat back and wait, but I chose to holler at her when she was already on her way. Now she was finna be my blessing, but now I got this.
disaster.
Yeah, we lose our blessing.
And I used to argue this all the time, right? Like they say, well, everything is already written. You know what I'm saying? The Most High already written everything, which that could be a fact. But you got free will, so everything is written if you follow the path that He written for you.
Exactly.
But if you could change, you can alter that by doing what you want to do.
Let's use King Saul. King Saul was the first king of Israel.
Yeah.
If he would have been obedient, he would have still been king.
Right.
But he chose to do something he was told not to do.
It wasn't ordained.
And he got stripped of that blessing.
Yeah.
And that blessing was given to another.
Absolutely. So, yeah, because we out here right now, we
Hello,
living for the
King
Most High.
David.
We walking a narrow path. You know, we following the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. But as soon as we think, oh, yeah, you know what? They out here on the block. It's sweet. They get it. We about to get back here on the block. We gonna die.
Yup.
We gonna die because we know better.
Yup. That's basically the whole message right there. That's basically the message right there, because it's different when you up underneath the covenant, right? Just like you said, in the covenant of marriage, you know, when you was under that, I'm not saying it's all right to do some of them things. Not that everything you mentioned was wrong either, but it's under the covenant of marriage, you move different. And you got to, because you could be in violation of their covenant. I'm gonna jump back into it at verse 36. At verse 36. And it reads, and he said, is not he rightly named Yaakov? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. We didn't read the other time just because, for the sake of time, but everything before where we started reading at verse 30 was the time that he took his birthright. It say, and he said, is not he rightly named Yaakov? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a baraka for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Asu, behold, I have made him thy master, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Asu said unto his father, hast thou but one baraka, my Abba? Barak me, even me also, oh my father. And Asu lifted up his voice and wept. He's crying. Let me get something. And you know, one more thought, like, do we really be seeking the Most High for a baraka like that?
Or do we even, just like in Esau case, did Esau really care about the blessing? Because you gave up your birthright.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So did you even care about the blessings in the first place?
Nope.
Not in the first place.
Now you just mad somebody
else got it.
That's right. It's like when a kid got a favorite toy, but they ain't playing with it till somebody else got that they want.
But also Esau, I know Esau, white man, all that. But also Esau is Edom, right? Esau is Edom, and when you look at the breakdown of the words, right? Edom is literally the same word as Adam. So Esau is Adam, and we look at Adam, right? Mankind, right? The first man. The first man was not created like a little boy and developed into this man. He was a man, right? When we look at Asu or Esau, it means to be hairy, it means to be mature and to be developed. So Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment. He was a similitude of Adam. Adam came out first. He was the first, however you look at, first of mankind to be set apart, or literally the first man, right? We not gonna get into all that, but he was the first Adam that we pick up with. He failed to sin. He gave up his birthright, right? Esau is walking in the footsteps of Adam. He gave up his birthright. He gave up his blessing. Right? He fell from grace. He had all these things promised to him, but he forfeited them due to his appetite for something that wasn't even prescribed to him. So just like Esau, we are mankind, right? We are Adam. So in a way, we are Esau. Not saying bloodline, but by spirituality, by the Ruach, we have fallen from our glory because of our appetite for sin. So once we miss out on these things, we can find ourselves in a situation where we are really crying to the Abba, do you got something for me? And he might have something for you, but it might not be to the esteem of what was originally for you. You see what I'm saying?
Because he said, your brother got the blessing, but he finna leave, and all his brothers got to serve him. That was your position. You gave up your leadership position, and now you have to follow. Over some stew. And then if you look at the irony of it, you're a master hunter. You ain't just know anybody. This is what you do for a living. You hunt game. So you know something. It's divine. Get the master hunter come back with no food. And then you sold your birthright. Then you sold your birthright for some food. But you a master hunter.
Yeah, so ultimately what we give up our treasures from YaHuWaH, it don't be worth it. It'd be like these little rich, privileged kids that got trust funds and got businesses passed down by their family and things like that, and they're gonna squander the whole wealth. You know what I mean? It's like they don't even see the value in what was left for them.
So when we give up our salvation to chase the bag.
You feel me? Yeah.
Do we want to secure the bag that bad that we'll give up our salvation?
Not me.
Yeah.
I don't. Nah, I'm straight.
But a lot of people is on that.
A lot of people doing it.
Most people is on that.
That's my own
I feel you.
Get your bag.
At verse 39, it say, and Isaac his father answered and said to him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Asu hated Yaakov because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Asu said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. All right, he said, it's time for me to mourn for my father. Then will I slay my brother Yaakov. And these words of Asu, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called Yaakov, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Asu, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, proposing to kill thee. He said to make himself feel better about how you did him, he want to kill you. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away. So she said, go out there to my brother's house until his anger settle. It say, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Like, why should I lose both of my sons behind this? Asu is basically a lost cause, right? He's a symbol of he's in the world. So why should I have this disgrace of a son, really? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because it goes back to telling you his blessing was the fatness of the earth. He received the bag. And it's like Jacob is the opposite. We don't got the bag, we got the blessings. We got the order, service, and all it is. You see what I'm saying? We got the covenant. You see what I'm saying? Which is more important to you?
The physical or the spiritual. And then it's like, so watch out how you get physically killed and I really lose you too. Verse 46. And Rebekah said unto Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? I'm gonna go to the next chapter.
Got a question. Didn't Esau tell? I mean, didn't Jacob say, "Sell me your birthright"? He's like, "What's good as a birthright? I'm about to die." So he didn't even care about it. He didn't want it.
He said, how important is this meal to you?
Exactly. So
and would he really have died
over something I didn't even want? About somebody I didn't even want?
That's how they do it.
That's crazy.
That's how they do it.
Before the mama even had him put on the hairy stuff and go in there to the father to trick the daddy, he already gave it up.
She seen more of a value than he did.
But he already give it up before the mama did what she did.
He got a birthright up, but the blessing was when he came with the trickery with the father.
Right. But if he gave up the birthright, what?
Like, what you saying? What you saying? He already gave up the birthright.
Yeah, like he didn't care nothing about that. So what did he care about the blessing?
And
he don't care.
That's why the Most High hated him. He hated Esau because he was faithful. You gonna give up something that's gold. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't have no faith. And that's how the Most High come to us. Like, if we don't even believe he exists, then put the books down. Put the fringes up.
That's it right there.
It's a wrap.
Don't be shalom with me when you
don't do none of that. You feel me? You got to first believe that he exists. All of this is in vain.
Right.
Esau didn't believe.
He was just there. He's just there in the house, though.
The father can't
make it make sense for you.
You see what I'm saying?
But look, he's there in the house, though. He's there in the congregation, though. You see what I'm saying? Judas was there in the congregation, though. Yeah. But everybody ain't 10 toes down who's in the congregation.
Yep, exactly. And like I promise, I remember I told y'all when the father gave me that dream about Jacob and Esau, he told me stop teaching it according to bloodlines.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because that's evil.
Yeah.
Like, and teach it to what it is. You have Jacob represent a righteous, upright nation.
And
Esau represent exactly what we just read: lawless, faithless.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The Most High keep telling us through this whole book to trust him. So we gonna go through some trials and some tribulations, some hard times, but we gotta trust him. And if we prove that our faith is like Esau, we can hang it up too.
Yep. I'm in complete agreement with that. We're going to jump over to the next chapter. So this is Genesis 28 at 1. Genesis 28 at 1. Just to get the background of what Jacob was going through, right? What Jacob was going through at this time. It says, and Isaac called Jacob and Barak him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Pad an Aram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. So that's another aspect, y'all. Like, I know people be talking about like hillbilly stuff, but like this is Bible, right? So somebody had asked a question about, was Abraham lying about Sarah when it was his sister? And that's not exactly a lie. He just didn't tell that it was his wife. You see what I'm saying? So, that's just how the lineage.
They weren't blood.
Well, it was not of his father's. It wasn't of his father's children, or it wasn't of his like father and mother, right? So at verse 3 it says, and Elohim barak thee and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the baraka of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau's mother. When Esau saw that Isaac had Barak Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he Barak him, he gave him charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and was gone to Padan Aram. And Asu, look at him, seeing the daughters of Canaan, pleased not Isaac his father, and then went Asu unto Ishmael, and took the wives which he had, Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister Nabojath, to be his wife. This next section they call Jacob's dream. It says, and Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran, and he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and laid down on that place to sleep. All right, so real quick, this actually is a marker to kind of give a little bit of insight on who the people, like physical features, was. Like for the Egyptians, they would take things that was hard surface like that, wood, planks, and things like that, because for pillows, because they had afro hair. So like would a stone be comfortable to somebody with real fine hair, like a white man? It wouldn't be very comfortable. But if you had patterned hair of afro type hair, you could use a stone for a pillow. So like this just kind of goes, into a little bit of the physicality of who these people was. And that was a common practice back then. At verse 12, it says, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to Shamaim. And behold, the Malachim of Elohim ascending and descending on it. And behold, YaHuWaH stood above it and said, I am YaHuWaH Elohim of Abraham thy father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. So he said, where you're laying at, this is going to be the land of your seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely YaHuWaH is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of Elohim. And this is the gate of Shamaim. So now, if we believe the Bible, then we have to believe that this place that Jacob was at is the gate of Shamaim. So, I know it's a whole lot of back and forth about where is the land and things like that. But just for a simple-minded Hebrew like me, I gotta go off the facts. Africa is a very luscious place, and perhaps part of that region goes over into this land that we're talking about, right? We know that the land that is promised to Jacob is not just a little slither of land, as they tell us is Israel today, but that area over there, that is what was promised to Jacob. So it extends beyond that. But to say that Africa is the land of where Israel are, it don't make sense and it don't line up with scripture. We know it's gonna be desolate, it's gonna be a wasteland until the children of YaHuWaH return back over there. We know that those people that's occupying this land right now are not the chosen people, or the land wouldn't be desolate and there would be peace, there wouldn't be no war. But they're fighting over that land for a reason. You see what I'm saying? They're fighting over that desert land for a reason. They're not just over there shedding blood, wasting time. Like, they know the significance of the gate of heaven. And that's all I'm saying.
Now, if you look at it, you see how that even though Isaac confirmed things to Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Like, this the blessing you gonna get. You feel me? Isaac? You see what I'm saying? And they come from his father Abraham. The Most High still came to Jacob himself to affirm the covenant.
He wasn't just piggybacking off of.
You see what I'm saying?
Land back in. He wasn't piggy nothing.
He came to confirm that covenant. Like, look, Jacob, the land that you land on right now, this gonna be yours and your descendants.
So his father, like you said, his father told him, but the Most High, like, hey, look, this is it. And he like, dang, I didn't even know it.
I didn't even know.
Now he shook, like, dang. And look what he do next. Look what he do next at verse 17. At verse 18, it says, and Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. But the name of that city was called Luz at the first, and Luz mean almond tree. So I don't know what significance almond tree had, but that's what it was called at first. But now it's called Bethel, or house of Elohim. House of Elohim, the gate of Shamaim. It say, and Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if Elohim will be with me. So Jacob did what? He vowed a vow. He vowed a vow, saying, if Elohim will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in shalom and peace, then shall YaHuWaH be my Elohim. So he like, man, you keep me in this way, Most High, man. Look, I'm a serve you.
But look, he had some requests.
He had some requests.
You see what I'm saying? We'll think that's taboo.
That's not taboo.
Like, the Most High come to us and we be like, hold on, but I need you to do this for me. You see what I'm saying? He making the deal. Like, if you do this, I'm definitely
I'm riding.
You feel me?
At verse 21, it says, so that I come up again to my father's house, then shall YaHuWaH be my Elohim. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's house. And of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee. So I'll give you my tithe. I'll give a 10th. Out of everything you give me, he's going to give a 10th to the Most High.
And look, the law wasn't even established yet, was it?
Not by Mushah.
You see what I'm saying?
So he already had these principles. They already had these principles. The spiritual principles.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the law was already in the inward parts. How did he know about giving the 10th?
And same thing with Melchizedek. Malak Sadiq. So this word here is the Nun, Dalet, and the Resh, the Nadar. Nadar. Can you pull that up, Aki? So when it say vow,
What verse is it on?
this is at verse
20.
20.
Hebrew 5088. 5.
Yeah, verse 20. Yeah, correct. And it's Hebrew. What'd you say? 5087?
88.
5088.
And then it says from 5087.
So
Strong's H 5088. Nader, Nader, and second entry, Neder, Neder.
so that is this country white man's pronunciation. I would say Nadar, because if you look over here on the pronunciation on 5087, that's exactly what it says. But that's neither here nor there. If you go down a little bit, are you on 50? Are you on 5087 or 5088?
It was 5088.
58. Let me go to 5088. Okay, 5088. And it just gives us a vow, scene, a rule. It don't really anything vowed, a vowed sacrifice. So that's just the definition they're giving. It's not really going that deep into it, but it's a vow votive offering. Votive offering. Oh, it says a promise to Elohim. So we see that a promise to Elohim. It says also concretely a thing promised, vow. All right, so we got that. Let's jump over to Leviticus 22. Leviticus 22. So these are some of the rules for the priests. That's what it says. It says sundry rules for priests. So these are vows concerning the priesthood, the Kohanim. These are vows concerning the priesthood. So some we say there's 613 laws, right? But all of these laws don't apply to common folk. All of these laws don't apply to men. All of these laws don't apply to women. Altogether, it might be 613, but we got to know who they pertain to at what time, right? So this is how vows would work concerning, and let's just read it a couple of verses here to kind of give us understanding. At verse 1 and 2, it says, and YaHuWaH spake. So this is Leviticus chapter 22, verse 1 and 2. It says, and YaHuWaH spake unto Moses Mushah, saying, speak unto Aharon and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the set apart things of the children of Yasharal, and that they profane not my set apart name in those things which they hallowed unto me. I am YaHuWaH. So who's he speaking to? He's speaking to the sons of Aharon, the priests, the Kohanim. Jump down here about verse 21. Jump down about verse 21. It say, and whosoever offereth a sacrifice of peace offerings unto YaHuWaH to accomplish his vow, or a free will offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. There was certain things that had to be met, certain requirements that had to be met for your vows, for your offerings, and things of such nature for the Kohan. Right. So there wasn't just this freestyle operating of I giving how I want to give to the most high, and then I'm standing in this position as a Kohan. There you even have to be in certain physical shape. I think we keep reading, it's gonna go into it. Let's read down about verse 25. It says, oh, here we go. Verse 22: blind or broken or maimed or having a wind or scurvy or scab, ye shall not offer these unto YaHuWaH, nor make any offering by fire of them upon the altar unto YaHuWaH. So you got to be giving your best. It can't be this the little rut of the the cap of the litter. This the runt of the litter. Here you go, Most High. I'm gonna keep the big fat one for myself. The one-legged one, or one that can't see and be running around running into everything. It needs to be your best. You should be giving your best. See, look at the spiritual implications we could get behind that. You need to be giving your best to YaHuWaH. Are we giving our best thoughts to YaHuWaH? Or do we give our best thoughts to the worldly things and then he get what's left over? Are we giving our best health to YaHuWaH? Are we giving our best years to YaHuWaH? You see what I'm saying? Or is I'm gonna be out here living however I want to live, and then at the end of it, at the end of code 3, let me try to get this thing together. When I ain't got nothing hardly to offer.
Are we giving the firstborns of our sons to the Most High? We setting them apart to be like, Father, his life is dedicated to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or we taking this child and creating
an idol
image in him.
An idol.
You gonna be like me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't the firstborn of my mama's flock, my father's flock. So if I take my firstborn and make him like me, that's idolatry. His life belongs to the Father. Point blank, period. You see what I'm saying? But we, like you were saying earlier, we so far away from my heritage, all we understand is our culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Them be the best ones. The ones you don't want to give.
Just like Jesse came to go to David fight because he was young and he killed Goliath. Everybody was scared. He was the best one.
Damn, you talking so low the mic ain't even pick you up. Say that again.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, just like
There you
Jesse, he didn't want to go let David fight because he was so little and young. But he was the best one. He killed Goliath when all the grown men, everybody was scared. And he tried to keep him at home, keep the best one at home.
All right, I'm gonna jump back in, and it says these are just more sundry laws, right? It says verse 23. Either a bullock or a lamb that hath anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that mayest thou offer for a free will offering. So you can offer that for a free will offering. All right, but for a vow, it shall not be accepted. For a vow, that's not gonna cut it. You know, if you just say, "Hey man, look, Most High, I want to give you a little." This is a Kohan, right? He say, "I just want to give you a little extra on the side." You know what I mean? You could take this one-legged. That's just a free will offering. But for a vow, that ain't gonna do. It gotta be your best. It says, "Ye shall not offer unto YaHuWaH that which is bruised or crushed or broken or cut, neither shall ye make any offerings thereof in your land, neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your Elohim of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them. They shall not be accepted for you." Okay. I'm looking for one more thing. Let's jump over here to chapter 27. Chapter 27.
Leviticus 27.
Yep, Leviticus 27. And it says, this is verse 1. It says, "And YaHuWaH spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for YaHuWaH by their estimation. And thy estimation shall be of a male from 20 years old even unto 60 years old. Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver after the shekel of the sanctuary. So, they was basically ranking people according to their age and their gender. Look here at verse 4. It says, and if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels. And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels and of the female 10 shekels in this age bracket. And if it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then thy estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. So you see how they breaking it down? But if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him according to his ability that vowed shall the priest value him. And if it be a beast whereof men bring an offering unto YaHuWaH, all that any man giveth of such unto YaHuWaH shall be set apart. He shall not alter it nor change it, a good for a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be set apart. And if it be any unclean beast of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto YaHuWaH, then he shall present the beast before the priest, and the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, as thou valuest it. Who art the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a fifth part thereof unto the estimation. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be set apart unto YaHuWaH, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad, as the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. I think that's all we want on that. I'm about to jump over here to Numbers 30. We just hitting some things on vows. And I think we looked at it. The vow was the Nadar, the Nadar, they pronounced it N-D-R, Noon, Dalet, Resh, right? The Noon being the sea or continuing, the Dalet being the doorway or something you move through, and the Resh being like the chief or the head. So it has to do with a continuation, something continuing forth, and the rest being the chief head thing. So to me, I'm seeing the value in the head, right? And the value in you can't just come, don't get a vow is something of high esteem, right? The resh is used for the head of the month. You got the Rosh Kodesh, and then you'll have the Rosh Kohan being the high priest. So these are the high things. So it's a continuation of this of something, right? To make a vow, I'm gonna continue to do something because I'm expecting something back, YaHuWaH. That's really what it is. It's like you said, August, that I'm asking something of YaHuWaH. So I'm gonna really what it is we're gonna see is to really not do something. Right. Usually to make a vow is to say, I'm not about to eat no meat or no bread for this month, right? That's what I'm on. So that's the vow. So don't speak it out of your mouth if you're not really about to try to accomplish that. And that's the mindset we got to get back to. All right, pull that up and then remind me a hot second. I'm about to hit this here in Numbers 30:1. It say, and Moshe spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Yasharal, saying, this is the thing which YaHuWaH hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto YaHuWaH or swear an oath by his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. You see that? If you say this out of your mouth to Yahuwah, or swear an oath, and these are two different words. So this word vow is an adar. This word oath is a shabua. Can you pull that up? So they both are in the same family categories, so to speak, but a vow is usually placed on a thing, and the oath is like towards one another, with Yahuwah being the witness. So the vow, you about to get married, that ring, it's kind of like you putting your vows on that ring, right? And you putting it on that finger. Now we are according to the vows, we're walking in according to this covenant that we then came into agreement in.
Strong's H 7621. YaHuWaH. YaHuWaH. And second entry, Sheva'ah. Sheva'ah.
And what they give you the definition for that?
Oath, curse, oath, attesting in innocence, curse, oath, or Jehovah. They ain't got it in here, so.
Okay. Okay, so just two different things going on there, but both in the same family, basically. A vow and an oath. It say, you should not break your word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Did you find what you were looking for? What's that?
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse.
Oh, we started there.
6. Oh.
Yep, that's where we started. But that's exactly where we started.
My bad.
You all good? So that's how we know we're on the same page, though, right?
But do y'all see the similarity? Do y'all see what the Father doing with Yasharel? He teaching them to become like him. He say his word ain't coming back void. Everything he say, he gonna take care of. And he teaching us to be the same way that he is. Be set apart. And if you say you gonna do something, do it.
That's it right there. If you say you're gonna do it, do it. You say you're gonna be a man, be a man. Say you're gonna be a woman, be a woman.
You made a vow you ain't gonna cheat on her, or he ain't gonna cheat on you.
You ain't got no choice to
keep
be a
your
woman,
vow.
right? or be a man, because they'll take that the wrong way these days. They'll say, "Oh, I want to be a woman."
Oh, they attacking out.
We rebuke that. Like I'm saying, if you say you're gonna be a real man of Yahuwah and a real woman of Yahuwah, stand by what you said out of your mouth. Keep your word, man. Don't be out here. It's so much. Well, yeah, we ain't gonna have no transforming in YaHuWaH, right? Ain't no Decepticons over here.
So by the time you calling yourself, by the time you come to the knowledge of the truth, and you calling yourself YaHuWaH, that means you married to the Most High. You got His name now, which means you transform. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no cheating on Him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, do what I told y'all to do. If you gonna say you married to me, don't prostitute yourself.
Correct. That's the message, Ak. But we still gonna go a little bit more. It say this at verse 2, Numbers 30 and 2. It say, if a man vow a vow unto Yahuwah, or swear an oath, or bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto Yahuwah, you could get a lot just from reading the scriptures, because it puts you back in that mind frame. It say, if a woman also vow a vow unto Yahuwah, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. So he don't say nothing, he hold his peace. He's like, I heard it. They sound good to me. Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. So that vow should stand. She needs to perform those duties and do what she said she was going to do. Verse 5. But this is for a woman in her youth in her father's house. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth it, so the day he heard it, he's like, wait a minute, wait, hold up, nah, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and YaHuWaH shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
Do y'all hear that?
Y'all hear that part?
Do y'all hear that? No, read that again.
This is at verse 4 and 5. I'm gonna start back at 3. All right, so we heard about if a man vow a vow, he should just do what he said he needs to do. You a man, you need to do what you said you're gonna do. At verse 3, it say, if a woman also vow a vow unto YaHuWaH and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. So if he hold his peace, the father hold his peace, your vow is standing. You need to accomplish that. Verse 5, but if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth it, so them is the context of that. In the day that he heareth it, if he say, hey, I disallow that, I don't allow that, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and YaHuWaH shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
Do y'all hear the power of the headship of man?
That's the headship of father that is a man. Let's go to the next part. Let's go. Let's go. Verse 6. And if she had at all an husband when she vowed, or uttered aught out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it. So it's just like the father, but it's the husband, which we better get into that word husband. Then her vow shall stand. Same thing. Just like if the father heard it, he held his peace in the day he heard it. The vow stands. She must accomplish that. And her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But, verse 8, if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, and YaHuWaH shall forgive her.
So it's the exact same thing. And now you see why it's parallel like that. The father is giving you to the husband. So you're under the authorship of man, your whole creation. From your father to your husband. Have the power to no, I don't agree with that. And that's it. When he say I don't agree with it, you roll with it. Even the father that's in heaven gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna hold you accountable for that because your husband already spoke. You said ain't no back talking, ain't no backbiting. When a man speak, it's done. If he don't consent, it's not happening. If he consent, then take care of the business.
That's right.
That's righteous.
If it's a sin unto death, you don't gotta listen to that.
No. I'm saying like if your husband.
I'm saying yes, for like the woman.
But you know a lot of these telling women stuff that don't be right. They don't gotta listen to that.
If it's a sin unto death, nah, like if it's some freakish stuff, look at the camp dude that was out there getting pegged on. That woman didn't have to put up with that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They was out there seeking some Caucasian freak stuff. Yeah, I could wash my hands of you, bro. You didn't go. We under this covenant based on the fact I thought you was serving the Most High. You went off somewhere. Yeah, you went off. Let's go holler at these other brothers if they can get you back on track. But until then, I'll be over here at my mama's house. You hear me? You done went off, and see that's the whole thing. No, it's like people get up under they get up under this thought process that, you know, these camps, man, they was having Passover in a strip club, basically. They said it wasn't a strip club, but they had the little hoochie mamas coming out with the candle and bottle girls. Yeah. So like, you know, then people acting surprised when this stuff comes out. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't hardly believe hardly nothing that nobody claiming to be an Israelite got to say. That's why I study for myself to show myself approved. When I met y'all brothers, it made sense. We could link, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to figuring out these feast days and stuff, that makes sense. A lot of stuff these people got going on, I just gotta call it how I see it. It ain't right. So how's everybody got their own form of the truth? You got a form of the truth? You got a form of the truth? I thought we was in the truth, or the truth was in us. It can only be one of the two. Oh no, you got a form of the truth. So what's the difference between Christianity? I might as well stay in the Christian church. I could make way more money. If I was in this for some money or some personal gain, I could go and do that easily. You feel me? Like, it's things that I'm restraining in myself so I can be set apart. That's the whole purpose of it.
And they doing the same thing. It's the exact same thing going on with the Hebrews. It's going on in the Christian church. Because the Hebrews making merchandise out of the Most High people. You saw, I never been to a event or a feast day where merchandise wasn't set up. Not even one time.
Dang, it's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? The Hebrews do the exact same thing. So this thing to go back to Jacob and Esau, it go back to the people who are gonna be upright and the people who are gonna be lawless.
Yup.
And it didn't start with Jacob and Esau. Cain and Abel had the same demonstration. Cain was upright before the Abel was upright before the Most High, and Cain was lawless. So
can you jump to Genesis 3 real quick? Genesis 3 and let's just go straight to 16. Genesis 3:16, because of what Aki was saying about the headship and what we was just reading about the headship, right? Where does it come from? Let's start at verse 14. Genesis
chapter 3.
Let's start at 13. Let's read the whole Bible.
You said 13?
Yeah, 13 down to 16. Genesis 13. Genesis 3 at 13. All right. Y'all there?
Yes, sir.
And it reads, and YaHuWaH Elohim said unto Isha, right, the Isha, what is this that thou hast done? And the Isha said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Going right back to appetite. What you got an appetite for? What do you have an appetite for? Do you have an appetite for set apart things, or do you have an appetite for carnality? You got appetite to serve, or you got an appetite to be seen? You got appetite to give, or you got appetite to take? What is your appetite? You want to eat off of everybody's table? Because see, YaHuWaH gave us a dietary law to symbolize everything ain't food, right? So some things that you take in that you should not be taking in. Knowledge is that, and this is exactly what they're talking about here. But that was not meat for them. That was not food. It looked like meat. It was edible. But I could go out here and I could eat paper. I could eat it and digest it and be all right. But it's not food. Shrimp is not food. You know what I'm saying? You can eat it, but it's not food. That's not on the menu. You can eat a whole lot of stuff. You can take in a whole lot of knowledge. You can read a whole lot of books, but everything is not ordained from the Most High for you to take in. But it says this at verse 14. So she did eat it. She did do that. It says the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Verse 14. And YaHuWaH Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, thou shalt bruise his heel. Just a little context. When we get to verse 16, it says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. It don't feel real good to give birth, do it, women? So that holds to be true in the scriptures. It says, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. And this word desire is coming from tashukatak, and the root word of that is teshuba, just like teshuba, to turn. So it's really saying you shall turn to your husband. You should be turning to your husband, but there really ain't no husband. This is the part I was gonna tell you. Really ain't no word for husband. It's just ish. Yeah, man.
Yep.
It's just man. Then you take it on to be your possessive as your ishi. It's my man now, because we in covenant now. This is my isha now, because we in covenant. This word husband come from this European mindset of something to deal with the man dwelling in a house dweller.
When the Most High says it, he says husbandry, which deals with tilling the ground and planting seeds.
The functionalities of manhood. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, because you got two men marrying each other now, and they're saying that, and that's impossible. That's an abomination. But y'all could put that title on, oh, they husbands, because that's y'all concept. But in reality, it's you get ownership over that woman to rule over her righteously, of course, because like we said, you get involved in these other organizations, and then, for whatever their desires be, they manipulate the minds of people, just like you said, just like the Christian church. So it really ain't no different. It's just a different style of deception, and then they got to break away. They got to start other little organizations. Now it's just like church. You got all these little denominations. Everybody got their own name on it. But it's really, like you said, showing that headship and that unity. And then the children come what? In subjection under the mother. The mother usually at home with the children. That was the original order. When we was growing up, probably more along your time, you seen a lot more. No, I ain't here trying to be fun, but I keep older than me. But you seen a lot more mothers at home. Like my grandmother didn't work. You feel me? My grandfather went out and worked, and she instituted the rules and the regulations that my grandfather was very militant because he was military. So with that military mindset, it was a military type home. The children is being reared up in a militant mindset through the mother, though. Right. My grandmother did what my granddaddy said. She paid the bill, whatever. But it was all guided through the headship, even if he was there or not in physicality. But then after that generation, it kind of became more women stepping out into the work field, women taking on careers, things of that. We also know COINTELPRO and Margaret Sanger and Section 8 and getting the man up out of the house. We know all these things, but however we ended up here now is everybody career based. And go back to what you said, what is your value on? Is your value on these tangibles in this life? Is it Esau that's important? Is the things of Esau important to you? Or is it the spiritual warfare that we're trying to win, which is really important? And the only way we're going to win that is by rearing up these children in a righteous mindset. You see what I'm saying? So, not speaking against a woman with a career or anything, it's just going back to our culture. This is just not so. It tell you in Proverbs 31, a woman still will have be getting her hustle on, but she'll be more of an entrepreneur type. She probably have an online business shaking. She got the you see what I'm saying? She was still working. She was still up early in the morning.
Still at home sewing up silk blankets.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Getting the best spices to sell. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she still take care of the business.
She got her
whatever you bring her,
bookie butter.
to multiply.
She got that bookie cream. She got that meat for the beard. So, you know, it's just like we got to get back to that ancient mindset, though. You know, so you know, look at some brothers that we know that, you know, wives do stay at home. Like, that's an ancient mindset, and that's a noble thing, right? And everybody might not be in that position, and some of them brothers in that position, they know the struggle of it or whatever. And like I said, not speaking against a woman that get out there and work, but just back in the day, that's all I'm saying, y'all.
Let's do the let's just be real with it. The contrast. Look at the generation of our children today
versus
the generations where they did leave the women at home to rear up the children.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Look at the fruit that was produced. You see what I'm saying? In the 40s and the 50s, black people owned, they was married more, they owned property, all of this.
Yeah.
This be right before Section 8.
Mm-hmm. That's why they have to attack it.
After 64 in the 60s, when they introduced the man, they took the father out the home. The woman started becoming educated, had the career, all the way up until now. When the woman feel like, I'm so educated, I don't even need a man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is just fact.
Oh shit.
So what are they struggling with? What's the difference?
The YNs.
Well, okay. I'm one of them that she talked about. I be struggling, and I be at home with my kids.
Struggling.
Well, this is what we saying too, though.
I guess it's just like management.
But do you got a man at home? We talking about marriage.
Also, I grew up watching my grandmothers, both of them, my grandma and her mama. My grandma still to this day, she worked 3 jobs. She always worked. She was, ain't she? That's what I said. I swear she got 2 Hummers. She living great. She's great. She's great, and she smells good. And her mama, she was married, and her husband died. But you know, she was working. She didn't even go see him at the hospital when she was at work. It's like that. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know, but her mama worked too. They both work, and my grandma, they be telling me, work, get your own money and stuff, and I just be like,
and the Most High explained in this order in a way where the nation is productive, and we don't see what we see now.
Yeah,
it's a moral decay. You see what I'm saying? Like, can't nobody go nowhere. You see what I'm saying? So, like, we see it because it's happening all the time. Women is, you know what I mean? Like you say, they chasing that bag. You see what I'm saying? That's what we were discussing earlier. Do you want the bag, or do you want the order of service?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the salvation?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's the question. Which is it that you want? Because one is gonna have us prosper as a nation, where the Most High said, and other nations will look at y'all and call y'all wise.
And the thing about it is this too, though. Like, do you want the bag or do you want the salvation? But if you get the salvation, you're gonna have enough bag. Because that's the whole thing about the vow, is like, hey, YaHuWaH, if you do this for me, you make sure I'm good. Hey, I'm down for the team. You see what I'm saying? So guess what? You got a jersey on, you got a number on, and you got a name on the roster. he not gonna have his team out here looking bad.
Exactly. He said, when have you ever seen a righteous man lack? You see what I'm saying? Like, it goes without saying. But do we desire that from the Most High? Or do we desire this from the world?
So,
do we want to conform into discipline, or do we want to stay rebels?
And they have a hard time even turning or stoop to the man, right? Because it said he will rule over thee. But do that mean you rule with an iron fist? Nah. There's all kind of different aspects to rulership, right? Rulership is provision. Rulership is direction. Rulership is nurturing at times. So it's all these different things in rulership that you have to take in accountability that a righteous man should be ruling his household under.
And they say when a righteous man rules, even the service, the people is happy. When the righteous man rule, the people
is happy.
But when the wicked rule, we finna suffer, we finna complain, everything under the sun finna take place. Yeah. So we can see it's a different rulership is the same, it's just who rules. Yeah.
All right. I got a couple more scripts and then it's been a good talk though.
Wow, we should have a podcast. Sit around the table, talk. Radio show.
Basically. All right, y'all. Let's jump back to that Numbers real quick. It was in Numbers 30 at verse 6. Numbers 30 and 6. 30 at verse 9, actually. 30 at verse 9. Numbers chapter 30 at verse 9, it says, but every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. And that against, basically, I believe is the Ayin Lamed. Let's look real quick. And that basically means upon her. So it's like Shalom Aleichem, occulti. You see what I'm saying? A lot of folks will be like, I ain't no Muslim. That's Hebrew. Shalom being peace, al being on, lachem being bread. When he said, take, eat, this is my body, he broke lachem, he broke the bread. So peace be upon you. That's all it's saying. Shalom Aleichem. So the al is not the aleph in this instant. It's the ayin, which is the eyeball, which is to experience or to see, and the lamed, which is direction, right? Leadership. So on something, and it could literally mean like two. So it's not to say it's against you necessarily in a bad way. It's just kind of how it's worded, right? Because it says, but every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their souls, shall stand against her. It kind of just make it sound kind of bad, don't it? Like every time you vow a vow, like she vowed a vow. Like it ain't necessarily like that. It's just that if you're in that situation, because these other ones, you got a husband, you got a father, you're living in this house. There's those stipulations. You don't have a father or a husband because you're a widow or divorced. So you got to hold that vow. It says at verse 10, and if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it and held his peace at her and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day that he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning the bond of her soul shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and YaHuWaH shall forgive her. So if you made a vow and your husband, your ish, if he say, man, nah, baby, you ain't gonna do that, I disannul that vow. I strike that vow down, woman. It's not happening. And you ain't gotta hold yourself in no guilt because that ain't on you no more. That's on him for whatever reason, right? Somebody could say, well, why would somebody do that? You could say, well, I got something else in store. It might be a vow that, you know, hey, I'm about to just be eating this. Or what he might say, hey, look, the finances ain't that. You know, I don't. It could be a variety of reasons why he knocked the vow down. But it you know, whatever the case, that's what's gonna happen. But you ain't held accountable for that. It said, verse 13, every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. See that? So she could be saying, hey, I'm about to go on a fast. I'm about to afflict my soul for such and such time. And he said, nah, we ain't gonna do that right now. For whatever reason, right? I'm trying to think of a reason why. It just might not be that time. He might be like, hey man, we're super active right now. We're very physical. We, you know, in the gym right now. I don't want your strength to fade right now. I want us to keep on this regimen. So now ain't the time. He might, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think righteously because, you know, I mean, even if he ain't in a righteous mindset when he knocked the vow down, it ain't on her no more.
I mean, like about the
Mm-hmm.
like whatever. You know,
it may be something that she
it just be something that he don't necessarily
agree with.
Right.
And he gonna knock that vow down, and she just gotta say, hey, look, well, I tried, YaHuWaH, but it ain't on her no more. So then it say verse 15, but if he shall any ways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. So he heard it, and then later on he tried to come back and be like, hey, you know what, man, you gonna stop this. It's like, then he gonna bear her iniquity because you should have said that in the day that you heard me say it. These are the statutes which YaHuWaH commanded Mushah between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. So them is the ordinances. I'm gonna jump over here to Deuteronomy, and then we're gonna jump to Matthew, and then we done. Deuteronomy chapter 23 at verse 16 through 23. Deuteronomy 23, 16 through 23. Deuteronomy. 23 at verse 16. It was this chair. What it was. What was that? You know me and chairs. Y'all there? I sound like Darby. He said, y'all there?
Y'all there back there? All right.
Praises. All right. It reads, this Deuteronomy 23 at verse 16, it reads, he shall dwell with thee, even among you, in that place which he shall choose in one of thy gates, talking about the stranger, I believe, where it like, oh, this is talking about the stranger who escaped from his master. That's up in verse 15. Thou shalt not oppress him, okay? He escaped for a reason. It say in verse 17, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Yasharal, nor a sodomite of the sons of Yasharal. You see that? Whoredom is shunned, and this sodomite lifestyle mentality is abhorred in Yasharal. You can't be the choir director and be up there like that. You know what I mean? They allow that in the church. That should not be so. You won't be in Yasharal. You won't be there. It say in verse 18, thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog. And when we say dog here, you're talking about a male prostitute. You can look it up. You can look up the implications of that word. So it says, this is verse 18. It says, thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore. So we talking about bringing these sacrifices unto the temple and into the congregation and things like that. And you got a OnlyFans. And you trying to say, hey, I can fund the whole feast day. It's nothing to me.
Keep your money.
Yeah, we don't want you to fund nothing. You're not allowed to fund with that type of money, okay? You can't bring the hire of whoredom over here or the price of a dog. Caleb, right? A dog. And it's a dog by implication of a barking animal, a domesticated dog type, but also it could be a, what does it say? The definition of
Temp or a basement, fig.
So figuratively speaking,
Of pagan sacrifice.
Of pagan sacrifice.
Of male coat prostitute.
Of male coat prostitute. Okay. So they covering all bases here. Even men going out there doing something strange for some change. Don't bring that to YaHuWaH and think that that's accepted as an offering. It says, into the house of YaHuWaH thy Elohim for any vow. You can't make no sacrifices like that with YaHuWaH. For even both of these are abomination unto YaHuWaH thy Elohim. So the whoredoms are abominations unto YaHuWaH. It says, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury. So that's putting that tax on it, right? Hey, I hold 50. Yeah, just pay me back the 50, right? Hey, it shouldn't be, hey, you got, can I hold 50? Yeah, but I'm gonna need 70 back. No interest. But in verse 20 is saying, to a stranger that thou may lend upon usury. Now, don't get it twisted. You get your business popping with these other nations, but when it comes to dealing with us, we deal with each other righteously. And it's like, man, my brother was just in need, so he's just gonna pay me back what I gave him. It says, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that YaHuWaH thy Elohim may barak thee in all that thou settest thine hand to in the land whither thou goest to possess it. When thou shalt vow a vow unto YaHuWaH thy Elohim, thou shalt not slack to pay it. For YaHuWaH thy Elohim will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. So it's a sin if you don't hold up your vow. So that's I'm just trying to show you the implications. Don't say it out your mouth if you ain't gonna do it concerning YaHuWaH. You're better off just not saying it. You better off just not vowing the vow. It says, but if thou shalt forbear to vow, it's like, hey, I ain't gonna make the vow. It shall be no sins in thee. It's not no sin if you don't do it from the jump. But if you say it from the jump, the words of your mouth, when you put the vow on the thing, it changes the thing. It literally you don't see it change. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you could take, we didn't get into it, but the Nazarite vow, right? The Nazarites would take a vow and consecrate themselves unto YaHuWaH. Now there's certain things that they're vowing not to partake in. Crushed grapes, dried grapes, the corn. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna cut their hair. They're not gonna cut their
anything dead.
Anything dead, they not coming by it. Well, to end it, they might start fresh, but I just know that they let their locks grow. They end up letting their locks grow, and then at the end, I definitely know they cut it. But throughout the duration of the process, these are the things that they're abstaining from. So, they're consecrating themselves. And to take that upon yourself, you got to know what you're getting into. If we go get baptized in this water, immersed in this water, we got to know what we get into when we partake in the feast of Pesach. You know, that's why we sit down and we say, man, look, before we eat this, just know this ain't to fill your belly, right? Just know that you are getting initiated here, so to speak. So now from this point moving forward, you need to really be conscious of how you move. And, you know, we do these things, but like we said, all of the signals that's getting bombarded from us from daily life, it don't weaken the truth, but in your mind can get wore down to where now you kind of become like, okay, they put so much murder on the TV and shows and things like that, then in the news, because now you numb to it. It's really a big deal. Somebody lost their life, but you so used to seeing it that it's like, oh, another murder.
Or even hearing about car crashes, then you see one and
You're like,
keep driving.
you're like, dang, that was really bad. I seen a real bad one earlier. You know what I mean? That's it.
One, it was a point in time that
Desensitized.
one was found murdered among the whole nation of Israel. The Most High coming to check in, and he want to know who knew that this body was out here. You see what I'm saying? We have this going on in our community every day, all day, and ain't nobody concerned about that body. You see what I'm saying? We even got a culture which say we not telling. You see what I'm saying? We don't care who did it, ain't got nothing to do with us. But that ain't how the Most High raised us up. What is this body and who did this and why ain't nobody said nothing? But remember, it's still, I'm my brother's keeper. Why is this body out here laying in the streets? Who did this? We have a culture that said, I don't know. We was right there. We seen who shot him. And we'll sit up there, I don't know. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
It was one of yours.
Until it's one of yours.
Say something.
You see what I'm saying? That's the culture we live in. That's the culture that we accept. Call it a code. I live by the code. The
Code of the world. So at verse 22 again, it say, but if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt perform. If you say, do it. Even a free will offering according as thou hast vowed unto YaHuWaH thy Elohim, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, then thou mayest eat the grapes thy field at thine own pleasure, but thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. I think that's all we want on that. We're gonna jump over here at Matthew 12 and 36. Appreciate y'all for sticking with us. I know it was a lengthy one, but in my opinion, it was a good talk. We're in the book of Matthew at chapter 12 at verse 36. At verse 36. And it reads, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account therefore in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So let's just let that sink in as we really just wrap our minds around the power of words, because death and life is in the power of the tongue. You know, we have to look at things in a different sense, right? When the Nazarites take that vow, ain't nothing wrong with the grape, ain't nothing wrong with the corn, but you shouldn't eat the things that grow for the vine, because now, you know, Marvel Comics make these what they call it, the multiverse. You vow a vow, you create a multiverse unto YaHuWaH, because for everybody else, this don't concern them. But between you and YaHuWaH, it came out of your mouth, you vowed that vow, you made that promise, just like your immersion. You went down in that water, you came back up. Now you are in a multiverse in unto YaHuWaH. See, they get everything from the scriptures. They just fictionalize it and put it to where it's fancy. But now you're in your own lane dealing with these things that you have consecrated yourself from. It's lawful, but it's not lawful to you. you know. So just watch what we speak. When we speak it, let's be about it, especially those of us who are taking on the banner of being set apart. And let's really just pick up the pace, YaHuWaH, and press towards the mark of YaHuWaH.
Read it, James 5 and 12.
We're going to the book James 5 and 12. James 5 and 12. The book of James 5 and 12. Y'all ready? She almost there. It's so big, she got to flip it with both hands.
Toes included.
What is it?
James yeah, James at the end. That big old book don't come with a table of contents.
Yeah, it do, but
You can probably pass
I don't
it.
know. I'm not used to this.
In the different order.
Right after Hebrews, right before First
It's
Peter.
bigger. Okay, right before First Peter.
All right, you on chapter 5?
Yeah, it's just like.
And 12, right?
Yes, sir.
At verse 12. Book of James 5 at verse 12, and it reads, "But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, Shamaim, neither by the Arats, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation." So there you have it right there, y'all. You know, what you speak is very important. Is real. We spoke last week in our study, we were speaking about abracadabra, right? The first words of the Bible, of the Tanakh, is Barashit, and the first verse would be the Aleph, right? So you would say Aleph, and then the next you would go right into the reading, right? So if you was to put the first character there, you will have Abara, and Abara is abracadabra, right? As I speak, so I create. So this is how YaHuWaH creates things. This is how he goes forth doing things, by speaking. So once you speak, it's been people to sit there and speak to their plants, negative or positive, and see the effects of, if I speak to this plant positive, then the life comes. If I speak negative, it decays. So your words have power. Don't just be out here speaking things, you know, even against these other nations. Let the Most High deal with these people. We stay set apart. It's time to retreat inward, and it's time to set ourselves apart, especially approaching a new season of Feast of Trumpets coming, and especially approaching Yom Kippur. So with that, I say shalom. Anybody got anything else they want to bring out?
Any questions?
Well, we say all praises to the Most High YaHuWaH, his only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. We say Shabbat Shalom. Deuces.